think it's safe to say that this is the best NBA Finals that we have watched. And I hate to do like the whole comparison shit or whatever, but I'm thinking back to the past finals over the last 6 or 7 years, and then going all the way back to 2016, and then going all the way back to 2013. I just have to say these finals have been as good as, I'd say, 2013. 2016 was dramatic, but I think people don't remember that in that Cavs-Warriors series, there were a lot of blowouts, and then Game 7 was the one ugly game that had multiple all-time great finals history, stamped type of plays. But just as far as the basketball, the two teams, the defense, the execution, the way neither of these two teams just give up, as I have the Dodgers-Padres game on in the background, have to see my pads play, but now I can fully lock into that game after I'm done recording this. Muting that. And the way these two teams guard each other, the constant 94 feet of pressure, the lineup changes, the swings. This is just an all-time great series. Definitely the best in the last is 2025, guys. Holy shit. But definitely the last 10 years. I'd even argue going back to 2013. But first of all, I hope Tyrese Haliburton doesn't have a serious leg injury. Calves are tricky, but they are going to be doing everything they can to get that leg right. I really thought the pressure going all the way back to the fourth quarter of Game 4, just the pressure's really been getting to Tyrese Haliburton, the defensive pressure of the Oklahoma City Thunder, of course. Lou Dort has basically been doing what Andrew Nembhard has done to SGA this whole series, what Aaron Nesmith has done to Jalen Brunson back in the Eastern Conference Finals. They are just up in his grill, denying him full denial, pressuring, stabbing at the ball whenever he puts the ball on the deck. And Haliburton is just, once he gets past the first defender, he's just met with a sea of arms and hands ready to deflect the ball as OKC goes out in transition. This mirrored a lot like Game 1, except this time OKC actually capitalized on their turnovers, because I believe in Game 1 they had like 11 points off of turnovers, and they had forced like 20 in the first half, 24 for the game total, but that was still just a ridiculously low amount of points off turnovers. A lot of dead ball turnovers in that game. Here, Indiana was just flustered from the jump. There were a few bad calls, but for a Mark Davis and John Goebel-led game, it actually wasn't bad at all. Indiana was just throwing the ball away. Pascal Siakam was loose with the handle. Aaron Nesmith had 2 killer turnovers in the fourth quarter that sort of extended OKC's lead. But it really just looked like they were rushed. OKC's defense was smothering. And even still, the Thunder extended it to a 16-point lead in the first half, and the Pacers still fought back, and it was a 14-point lead at halftime, and then they were able to cut it to 8. TJ McConnell is just fucking fantastic, and we'll talk about him later, because I actually thought if we were keeping it a buck, he should have been playing a lot of that fourth quarter. Just at that point, and Tyrese Haliburton hurt his calf at some point in that first half on a drive on Chet Holmgren where he fell and kind of was just hobbling a little bit, and you could just tell immediately in live action that he tweaked something. Came back in the second half, but really, OKC's defense, I don't know how many more things I can say about it. They have droves of all NBA level defenders. Even some of their 8th and 9th guys, like Aaron Wiggins and Kendrick Williams, they try hard. They use their length. Kendrick Williams is huge. And, Siakam obviously scored on him a few times, but you can, leave him out on an island and be fine with it for 7 minutes. Aaron Wiggins, once again, getting that home cook in, 4 of 7 from 3. But was guarding Haliburton really well too, was using his length. Whenever Hallie picked up the dribble, Aaron Wiggins was just jumping around, causing turnovers. The Pacers' offense just looked really rushed and flustered, and honestly looked a lot better when TJ was leading the charge, especially in that third quarter. But of course, with the Pacers, all series since the new year, no matter what, OKC was whooping their ass. And they did the Captain America Steve Rogers thing where it's like, I could do this all day. And you look up and they're only down 8 going into the fourth. And I really thought that this game was going to get really tight down the stretch when Pascal Siakam started going Super Saiyan on both ends of the court, scoring a few buckets, blocking SGA at the rim a few times. But the key swing in the game, after Pascal Siakam got the offensive rebound and hit that 3, to cut it to 2, 95-93. J-Dub misses that drive. Isaiah Hartenstein gets the offensive rebound. Cason Wallace gets it, kicks it out to J-Dub for a 3 to put him up 5. Then Nembhard comes in with a bad pass. Cason Wallace pushes the lead to 7. And that was sort of the game right there. Like we've said all series too, by the way, Haliburton cannot have these type of games if the Pacers want to win this series. I mean, that's an obvious statement on its surface, right? But we have seen it. The Pacers play to their absolute best potential offensively when Tyrese Haliburton strikes that balance that is his superpower, which is scoring at least 20, getting those double-digit assists, and not turning the ball over, and just orchestrating that machine that is the Pacers offense, the quick passing, the quick pace, all that stuff. And it just felt like OKC's defense was thriving in that. But they still made a comeback. But let's start with Jalen Williams first, because he has now erased the questions about can he be a number 2 on a good team. Win or lose this series, OKC has their answer. You know, the first 2 games scoring-wise, he wasn't great, but the last 3 games, offensively, he's been fantastic. Really offensively since Game 6 of that Denver game in the Denver series back in the semifinals, he's been awesome on offense, but all playoffs, he has been fucking fantastic defensively. Defending up his position, defending down, the seamless switching between him, Dort, Caruso, and then just his drives and his balance, his ability to just take off super fast and then lay the ball up full speed, softly off the glass as it drops in. Just fucking uncanny, man. And I really feel like this is why we'll go back all the way to when OKC decided to ditch the double big starting lineup. This is one of the things that was underrated when we were talking about this. Isaiah Hartenstein just opens things up a little bit for everybody else in the starting lineup. You might not think it. He's not a good shooter from the outside from 3, although he's a decent free throw shooter, but he's a fantastic offensive rebounder, a fantastic screener, a fantastic positional defender, and can sort of shuffle his puppies too on the perimeter every now and then, although Siakam got him a few times on a few drives, but he's an awesome passer too. And all 4 of those things, just open everything up. The screening gets SGA a little bit more free in the backcourt when Nembhard is pressuring him full court, or Nesmith. J-Dub was cutting so much in this game, it almost looked like a new play Oklahoma City was introducing mid-series, because J-Dub knows, with at least Hartenstein's passing, that if he cuts, he's getting the rock. And J-Dub had so many easy baskets that the basket just looks like an ocean for him at that point. And then it trickles out to the three-point line where he made some absolutely monster threes in that fourth quarter. 40 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, was killing Nesmith, was killing Nembhard, was killing Mathurin on all those drives, getting to the free throw line too. Just an absolutely fantastic performance. And then, finishing my Hartenstein point really quick, the offensive rebounding gave OKC extra possessions in that fourth quarter when things got a little bit tight. And then for Chet Holmgren, who still really hasn't found the broadside of a barn in this series shooting-wise, but has done other things. The thing I like about Chet in this series is that his defense has still been really good overall in this series, and he is trying to contribute other ways, and he'll hit a shot every now and then, as I'm watching Dylan Cease just absolutely collapse in this inning against the Dodgers. I will never trust Dylan Cease in a fucking game, in a playoff game, ever. But back to basketball, I like that Chet Holmgren is doing other things to make himself impactful in this series. But really what Hartenstein does in the starting lineup is it gives Chet Holmgren his interior two-man guy back. Isaiah Hartenstein even set some screens for Holmgren and got to the basket a few times in that first quarter. Like, Hartenstein just does a lot of things, and I will never understand why OKC went away from it. He ended up -1 in this game, but that was because he was also doing some solo big lineups. I actually need to check the net rating after this game. Well, once Cleaning the Glass updates, I need to check the net rating on that double big lineup. But it just felt like Hartenstein was the catalyst for shit early. Like, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander only shot 9 of 21 from the field, but was getting downhill, was getting fouled, was getting the fouls that, by the way, people should not bitch about. He was getting to the rim. Caruso, only 2 points, but impacted the game in so many ways. Had an insane steal in that fourth quarter. He dives on the floor. Usually when you dive on the floor and try to get the ball will bounce up a little bit, or your body will bounce up and you can't control yourself, and the ball gets away, but Caruso somehow fucking grabs it, gets it to J-Dub. Just plays like that. The Oklahoma City defense was special in this game. Their offense was really good, and Jalen Williams had one of the best finals games in history. This series, man, it's just, if you're a basketball fan, we're just eating, man. This is fun. These are two teams duking it out. Two smart teams, two well-coached teams, two versatile teams. But the Pacers just weren't good enough tonight in the fourth quarter. And Haliburton, and especially Nembhard, that's the secret sauce with the Pacers, is that Nembhard on both ends of the floor was fantastic. But he had 4 turnovers in this game and was 3 of 8 from the field. Also very poor defense on SGA and Jalen Williams in stretches when, they would switch. Don't really understand why Tony Bradley and Ben Shepherd were on the court at the same time in that first half either, by the way. I would just elect to go small with Pascal at the center and Obi Toppin at the 4, because you obviously play Tony Bradley because you can't trust Thomas Bryant. But Tony Bradley really didn't give you much in that first half. He had a few nice buckets from a Haliburton pass in that fourth quarter, but you're really just wasting space and not putting your best lineups out there at this point. But Haliburton had 0 made baskets, and that's obviously unacceptable, but also credit to OKC's defense, because it was once again special tonight. 15 steals, 12 blocks. Forgot to mention Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had a few great plays at the rim, had 4 blocks himself and 2 steals, while having 31 points and 10 assists, was really doing a good job spraying the ball out to the corners. Once OKC's role players start making their shots, if Aaron Wiggins and Cason Wallace can bring the 3-point shooting on the road, they're usually a tough team to beat, because their defense will always be smothering due to the amount of really good defensive players that they have, that they can withstand some offensive lulls and win weird games like Game 4, where they only make 3 threes. Absolutely insane series, man.